you're pussy fart. Goodbye. Hold on.
Follow the Skeletor.
Yeah. Hello, Tom. I'm gonna say, Tom, talking to a room full of people. Are you a sloppy bitch? That's what I'll say to him. If not, I'll leave him a really erotic voicemail. I know, Tom. Who else got a prank call? Dude, I could call John St. John. How do you like it, bitch?
Sorry about this.
We make our own fun.
She'll just yell
Yes, just call Tom a pussy fart.
on the count of 3.
Thanks, Tips.
Hey,
you pussy fart!
Pussy fart!
Pussy fart, Tom!
Pussy fart!
Hello, handsome Tom. This is Skeletor. You're a pussy fart. Call me back. Love you. Like that. Oh, yeah. That'll be in the program. Like, what the hell?
That'll be on the program.
That's if he even checks his voicemail.
I'll tell you who else. We can prank call Mickey.
Sweet. Yeah.
Hey, Mickey.
Can we
Yeah,
do maybe here's the fine?
Okay, everybody on 3 and yell and 8-bit Mickey.
Yell what?
Hello? Yeah. Oh.
He's in John.
He's an asshole.
Apparently there was one being used that
You armored
until she gets back.
Yeah, let me call me
Oh, I
back.
got his voicemail,
at
but we
6.
can yell at him.
Call me back at 6. Okay, bye.
Okay. So, and 8-bit Mickey, and we're done.
And 8-bit Mickey!
Greetings from Canada! I love you. He will be sexually confused later. Okay, so, do we have a projector yet?
Not yet.
Should we just kind of BS it and start, or?
What do we need the projector?
I don't know, should we just throw Steve Saylor's hard work down the toilet?
I'm like,
Pretty sure it took 5 minutes to make
I'm like,
that.
isn't this the projector right here?
Pardon?
This is the projector right here?
No, we need like a different adapter.
No, this looks hardcore. They keep it like 6 minutes in there.
Yeah, 6 minutes.
Wow,
I can describe it to the
Hell.
people.
There's a picture.
There is there's a picture of the Twig logo, and it says a brief history of Twig. This
Then it has the
week
cool
we've done it.
diamond on top of the eye, like that Sims diamond. But
How,
it's
actually, here's an idea. Why doesn't Dave, why don't you read the slides, and Laban, you act it out?
act out the slides.
I don't care. Find a way to act out the slides. Interpretive dance, monkey dance, come on.
Yes!
Okay, so you're not
Dramatic reading, and don't actually get serious.
with your phone, so
Sliders.
Oh, there's Mickey. Should I pick it up?
Yes.
Yes.
Mickey Paradis. I'm sitting in a room of about 200 people right now, and they just all want to say hello to you. So would you like to say hi to the people of Canada at ConBravo?
Kanyaba.
Yeah, they can all hear you right now. What words of wisdom do they have from Dr. 8-Bit Love himself? What was that?
Inspiring.
If you're going to tap it, rap it.
I was
The wisdom of Mickey Paradis, ladies and gentlemen.
Inspiring.
there.
Yeah,
More
We
specific.
love you, Mickey.
we feel so inspired. Truly, cheers.
Those are my rapping.
I'm at a Canadian convention right now doing a panel.
I don't make.
Tell them we're doing it from a big
A really crappy one, yes. Well, our projector doesn't work, and I somehow blame Tom for it.
My polar bear broke down.
So, can you do me a favor and like bag him? I will hold you to that. Yeah. I'm sitting in front of a panel room right now. Actually, we're waiting for. Oh, we got our piece now.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
The right piece.
hopefully.
Yeah,
It's the only one I knew of.
We're waiting for our projector to come up. So I thought we'd prank call you and Tom.
I apologize for this.
No, it's not going to fit.
Provided something.
Nope, it's the fire one.
So I guess we're going with the interpretive dance slide?
Yes.
Do it.
Okay. Sorry, that's the one I know of.
Family's Day,
Sorry.
go there and dance.
Mickey says reach for the stars. Okay, thanks, Mickey.
Climb every mountain high.
All right, guys. Everyone say bye to Mickey.
Bye. You're so fine.
There you go, Mickey. Thanks, dude. Bye. Random. Okay.
David's got the sexy voice. I've got all the cool dance moves.
I got
What, you
some
want to
band
tag
tape.
out and swap?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
So this is how this is how to establish yourself in the media. Make a biggest jackass of yourself as possible. Hey, it worked for all those guys.
Exactly.
That's why you wanted to dance.
Yeah, I can like swing it around.
Okay, whenever the slide changes, I'm going to go. Alright. A brief history of Twig. This week in Geek.net.
I'm on a computer.
It all began January 31st, 2007. That day in geek history in 1961. That's what he put in?
Yeah.
Okay. In 1961, NASA launched a monkey into space. In 1969, the Star Trek episode The Lights of Zeltar premiered. Please explain that one.
I don't know what happens in that episode.
Just
I'll
go.
have like a phaser.
In 1983, Texas Instruments introduced the TI personal computer with 64 kilobytes of RAM, dual 320 kilobytes of floppy disk, and 720 by 300 graphics with optional 8-color mode. Price US dollars. Really went all out with it.
He must have owned one of these
And
things.
$95.
It's totally 7 minutes.
In 1990, Star Trek TNG episode Sub Rosa premiered.
Another Star Trek.
There you go. In 1997, the Star Wars Special Edition opened in theaters. In 1999, Silent Hill is released.
Excellent game.
Ooh, scared.
And in 2007, This Week in Geek is born. No, born.
Through the womb.
Can't mind this.
You just pop out.
Yeah, come up with
There is a thought that you will never unsee.
unclean.
It all began.
It all began again. The same date.
Oh, just paraphrase it now.
What started as bonus Mark's high school assignment.
High school?
Sorry, no. There's words. Steve Snowball Sailor asked Mike the Birdman Dodd to join forces and take on Geekdom with their own college radio show at Niagara College's CRNC 90.1 FM, The Heat.
The new Heat at that point.
Well, it's just The Heat.
So 6 microphones.
So Steve and Mike met only 3 days previously before going on air for the first time as co-hosts.
Now, a
And
little
the-
side story to that, I actually tried to get Steve kicked out of college first. I thought he was hacking. I seriously thought he was hacking the school network. Like, I'm going to get rid of you. I'm going to be a rat.
And now they're best.
And now we're best buddies.
The first show topic was Superman. And reviews after the first show is Mike and Steve sound like they have been friends for years.
It's true. He's an albino. So yeah,
What am I supposed to do, friends? Like,
That's why you're friends.
Yeah, he's an albino.
And Superman.
I did do Superman. I was like, whoop. You missed it.
Within a few months, we got to go to an MC, a live music and podcast event, and the first podcast, Toronto 2007. We started producing our first pieces of custom content outside of the regular show, such as fan DVD commentaries like that beloved Ghostbusters one. The extended topic roundtables. We were featured in a Niagara College newspaper, put on a live charity event to celebrate our first semester on air to raise money for Little Geeks. I'm assuming that's a charity.
Yes, that's a charity that gives underprivileged children computers.
And we won our first graffiti award as Best Specialty Show on 90.1 FM, The Heat. The website reached 20,000 views and over 2,000 downloads per episode within 3 months.
Yeah, so. You don't want to list all these people?
Oh, jeez.
No, he does that act. Everyone
Okay,
out.
alright. These are all the famous people we've talked to.
Hi, I understand you guys need a mini DVI port to VGA or whatever for
How many more slides do we have?
Not that many. We have 2 left, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, who cares?
It's
Okay.
It's all for naught.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, if you have some way to transfer that, we could give you a different computer. We just don't have many guys.
That's okay,
It's
man.
alright. We're past that point.
Okay, now you gotta act out every one of these
There's
faces.
a lot of people.
Should be fun.
Alright. We've had the opportunity to speak to some cool people as Bear McCreary.
The composer for Battlestar Galactica.
Yes. Callie Lewis.
Heat Grave, just to have boobs.
Stan
That's
Bush. Say something about touching, because I said Stan Bush. He's playing his guitar. Alright, Stuttering Craig. Tiffany Grant. Daniel Logan. I'm just going to start.
Young Boba Fett.
Yeah, little Boba Fett.
Sean Schemmel.
Sean Schemmel.
David's nemesis now.
Yeah, my enemy.
Yeah, somehow he's managed to piss off Goku. I got text messages about him like, man, your David's a dick. I'm like, wow, Super Saiyan hates you, David Tennis.
You can post some Facebook too.
One joke.
Laurel K. Hamilton.
She writes vampire porno.
Writing.
Oh god.
It's weird.
I'm going to master that name, so I'm going to skip it. David Hayter.
Who's that guy?
Solid steak.
Yeah. No, it's a box.
It's a box. I don't know.
David Hayter is the most famous box in history.
Will Wheaton.
Space nerd, as I call him.
Don't be a dick.
Yeah,
Chad Bader.
Let's
Okay, I'm just gonna say them up. The Totally Rad Show, Felicia Danes, Johnny Young Bosch, Bria Grant, Kyle Hebert, Ed Boone, Leo Laporte, Raven, Alexis, Billy West, MC Frontalon, Brental Floss, and more.
That's right.
We started to expand our network to several shows, including our main show with DVD commentaries, roundtables, Geek Gamers, Geek Reviews, interviews, Geek Gore, and more. We asked Scott, Scotty Dude, 32, Boris, Pierce, the punk, not here, Dirksen,
Over there somewhere.
Brandon MacGyver, Chambers, I said Chambers, because of MacGyver, that's why. David, Double D, Dennis, woo! AJ, the St. Bernard, Mike
TF1 Blanchard.
Yeah,
TF1 Blanchard, Mike the Fist of Justice Laidman, Spade of the Vault Matrix, Stefan the Skunk Pelt, I don't know.
I like how he's in there.
Yeah, that's okay. He's dead now.
To join our ranks, to expand even further. Within 4 years, we released 500 episodes, had 11.5 million hits, 1 million downloads of our episodes with an average of 200,000 views and 50,000 downloads per month. Whoa!
So yeah.
And that's the slideshow.
That's the side. Okay. So now we've done the intro. David, sit down now.
I stole your chair.
So, question.
Yeah.
And it barely started.
You forgot to mention in 1947, Cole Phelps, detective of the LAPD.
It's true.
God damn, Steve doesn't know what he's doing.
I know.
He's that detailed, and he skips that.
Yeah, he's. Oh,
What a douche.
But anyway, so the purpose of this panel is, you've met a lot of people this weekend who probably are in fringe media, like I'm with that guy with the glasses, but I also have a professional radio background, which I kind of brought over with these guys. I went to college with Dave, and this started out like we said in the slideshow. This was extra credit. We weren't getting paid for this. We weren't doing anything. And we just kind of kept going. So the idea of this panel is to tell you guys, if you guys want to be legitimate media, within 6 months or less, there's no reason you can't be going to PAX on a press badge. There's no reason you can't be going to E3 on a press badge. There's no reason you can't be getting free stuff in your mailbox every day to do that. So, like I said, just to walk you through it, now you've got the kind of history of Twig. I guess we'll kind of talk about how we all got kind of started here. So, like I said, me and Dave went to college back in 2006 to 2009. I was a radio kid, he was a film kid. And we didn't bring you on until the second year, right, Dave?
Third, actually.
Second or third, yeah.
The second year is when I started doing my little rants, just like a little segment for the show, and then the third year is when I came on as like a full host.
Yeah, so we had Dave doing production, producing his own shows. Dave spun off into his own new pet project. What's it called again?
Double D Does the Movies, which you can check out at thisweekgeek.net. I'm hoping to get my own website soon, like for that.
Yeah, we'll just syndicate that
it's
content
my
as well.
monthly movie review show.
And then Scotty actually started out as a fan of the show.
Yes, that's what I was.
Yeah, so how did we bring you on, more or less? Like, you just like, Mike, give me a job, okay?
No, more or less, I'm like, hey, I'll do this. Hey, you want to hang out? Hey, can I do this for you? Hey, can we try this out? Hey, have this idea. Hey, can I guess? Hey, just bug the shit out of him.
Yeah, and then eventually, every time he'd come to my house, I would never be there.
Yeah, I know. I go to his house. Oh, my friend broke her leg. I have to go to the hospital. I think it was a lie. So Dave had to entertain me, and that was fun. But yeah, he's like, oh, I have to go to the hospital. And then every other time like that, he was just never around. Sometimes I just really think he existed, to be honest.
I'm a busy man searching this one.
And now if I go to his house, he basically makes me work. He makes me organize his room and all that. It's not really...
He's my able-bodied young ward, as we...
You were the one that offered.
I know, you don't offer too much, because then you just expect everything.
It's true. But anyway, and then me and Laidman, he used to work at a station in Hamilton called Talk 820.
Yes.
And he knew of my work through Screw Attack and all these other websites, and I emailed his boss.
Yes, you applied for my job. And I already had the job, and it's something. And it was funny because my boss comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, check it out. This loser applied for your job," and he sent me the email. And I was familiar with Mike from Screw Attack, and actually I'd been to This Week in Geek, just kind of like, who's this guy on Screw Attack? And so I knew who he was, and I sent him an email, and I was like, "Hey man, thanks for applying for my job." And if we chatted for a bit, and
Then I randomly invited you to my birthday party.
We met at your birthday party.
To which I was hammered.
Yes.
It was awesome. So, I guess one of the first things we want to start, like, what do you guys want out of the media? Like, what do you guys want to do? Like, do you just want free stuff? Do you want to report on stuff? Do you want to actually get involved? So, what do you guys want?
Well, I'm actually a journalism student at Centennial here in Toronto, and well, Burlington here. But anyway, I do want to do stuff like journalistically, like do some entertainment reporting and stuff like that. And I know that like radio kind of fits into podcasts and stuff like that. And I do a bit of stuff like that on YouTube, except just audio files synchronized in video. So I guess I'm sort of going for like interviews, you know, like stories and stuff like that related to online streaming.
What kind of difficulties have you had in getting yourself kind of established?
Well, I've been tempted to go for like the YouTube partnership, but then there was like 3 pages where they're like copyright, and I'm like, oh crap, I got like photos and photos of like movie posters. I'm like, they're probably kidding. We're not kidding. Is the next page, and it's like they're probably not exaggerating. We're not exaggerating. So yeah, like I've done like stuff like blogs. I still do the YouTube channel. Any medium that like I can sort of get around and either look for a loophole or stay as under the radar without getting taken off, and at the same time trying to build myself publicity.
Trying to take off while remaining on the radar, so you want to be like a stealth fighter.
Yes.
You know what? It's not too hard to get yourself noticed. The problem is staying consistent. We find, because the thing with Twig when we started out, we had to do a weekly show. Otherwise, hey, guess what? You lose your spot on the radio and you lose marks now. So consistency would be something I would say. And then, like, do you use like any type of social media, like Facebook, Twitter?
Oh yeah, I have a Facebook page. I use Twitter. The Facebook like Twitter thing, like it's like every time I'm on there, like it'll just stall like in the middle of a tweet. But yeah, like I'll definitely every time I got like something, I'll post the link up there, and so that anybody who's following it and stuff like that to try and put it in different directions, because you only got so many subscribers, but you could have a person who's not subscribed to you on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
Somebody who follow you on the Twitter.
One of the things we've done, and I actually had Scotty do this for a little while, was run part of our social media page, just talking to people.
Yeah.
That generates a fair bit of conversation.
Yeah, and I just made that the Steam group kind of thing, just trying to get more people into it on like just PC gaming and stuff like that. Just like try to get more, like Team Fortress 2 is free, so like, why not have like more people hanging out and be able to chat with them? Just to get out there more, so they don't think you're like a prude, kind of like hidden away. Like we'll chat with you, we'll hang out with you. If you want to do that stuff, just ask.
Yes, I mean,
just be one with the people, and that's always a good thing.
I think it goes the other way too, like not to be afraid to talk to the people that run the websites that you like. Like if you're into movies or video games or whatever it is, find websites that you enjoy visiting, and then don't be afraid to go to their contact us page and just like fire them an email, because most of the time if you're like, hey, I got this show that I want to do, they'll be relatively responsive to it.
Yeah, I mean,
More
that's
so
how we
than
got
usually you
into
think
that.
you're going to get rejected, but people are nicer than you think.
Yeah, like Dave brings up a good point, like using the contact us page. Like to get yourself established in the media, it really comes down to networking. It's not what you know, it's who you know, which is really unfortunate. Unfortunately, you have people like us. Well, I'll hook you up with whoever the hell you want, provided you're not a douchebag. That's my rule. Don't be a dick. And like Dave said, contact people you don't know. Like I contacted Screw Attack, and I interviewed Tom when he was there, and I interviewed Craig, and then they started up this new news program. It's like, hey Craig, I'm a reporter for my school. I have access to a super high-end camera. If I did something, could I do something for hard news? He's like, yeah, sure, I'll give you a shot, whatever. And it really blossomed. So taking a risk, like, if you're willing to put yourself out there in the media, a lot of people will take a risk on you because that's what they want. They want people that are going to put themselves out there to really try. And for you, for example, starting your small thing, you can contact a company right now. Say, hey, I'm just starting to get into this. Will you help me? And that's the big thing about being involved in media. It's all about relationships. Like normally I take care of all the PR for Twig, but Dave has gone out on the floor and gotten us free stuff. Like you got like Bart got a room and some other stuff.
Yeah, a few things from a few people, but
You just have to be
not
friendly
as
to
much as
them.
you. But yeah,
Yeah, like being a nice guy will get you far in this area. And the thing is, the journalism industry, it's very, very, very small. So everybody knows each other. I mean, in radio, for example, word gets around quickly. If someone sucks and you're a flake, it'll get around.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I only spent 2 years in radio, but everybody knows everybody. Like, there would be times when somebody would, like, you'd hear about somebody in another market entirely lose their job. And they'd go, did you hear about Bill? He lost his job. Well, Bill, I heard they're already talking about bringing Bill in over here. So everybody knows everybody. So it's really easy to either get good buzz or terrible buzz very quickly.
Did something similar happen with the entire GameSpot fiasco during Kane Lynch? How the guy got ejected?
Well, that was like a sponsor.
Yeah, that was a sponsorship thing, but
Yeah.
even still, if you screw your sponsor, you're going to get nailed. And that's the other thing about getting established in the media. I'm going to warn you now, getting paid is possible, but it's remarkably hard. I make very little doing this job. I have to do consulting on the side. And if word gets out that you're either a sellout, like people can buy your coverage, or you're inconsistent, you're pretty much done. And that kind of extends to social media, like hey, Bill got fired for this, that, and the other thing. Watch your Facebooks, watch your Twitters, watch your LinkedIn. Like set your privacy settings at such a level where only friends can see what you're doing, and don't add anybody you don't know. Now, I'm an exception to my own rule. I live a very public life. Any details that are going on in my life, I typically let go public. That's sort of the reputation I've built over the years. So when you go into the media, you have to decide, what do you want to do? Do you want to be a solid reporter who has a private life? Like, how much do you really know about, say, Peter Mansbridge? Or Don Cherry? Pardon?
We're chums, him and I.
Yeah.
We kick a few back sometimes.
But yeah, think about it. You really have to consider what you want to do, because your image is so important in the media. It establishes your credibility.
To give you an idea of how easily social networking, how it actually reaches people, how it affects you. One day, I was working, when I was still working at the radio station, and I had a terrible day. And I essentially wrote, as my Facebook status, the written equivalent of, I got a call from my boss that afternoon. Everybody was really worried about me. Like, everyone that I worked with saw my status, and they're like, are you okay? Like, you're not going to kill yourself or anything. You know, like, oh, I just blown off steam. I'm sorry. Like, it was really weird, because it's not, my boss didn't have me on Facebook. It was somebody else, and they went to somebody else. So it gets around, no matter where you put it. So you got to keep an eye on that stuff.
Yeah, and
after that, I changed my settings.
And people are always watching you too. I mean, even if you're not picked up by a major news site, people are always watching, because your Twitter goes into the public timeline. So you never know. Plus, now that Twitter has that thing, follow other users like me, you can get viral very, very quickly, which is very good for you and very bad for you. So one of the things I suggest, if you're going to get into the media, unless you want a very public life like mine, establish a personal and a professional Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff. This way you can pretty much say what you want, do what you want, but even if it's settings up where you need CIA clearance.
It's almost like a lot of celebrities, like even just say with like Keith and Nathan, like
Yeah.
you know they're characters, but it's still the kind of same thing. Like for the one public life you'd have as, or like any actor really, they have their public life, which is usually their like page, where they'll tell you certain things, and their private, which is always good to have them separate, like that, especially. Like that's a pretty good tool. Like say with you, if you all of a sudden like, I want to have a private life, you have your like page too.
Yeah.
So you can just easily do that. Like
Yeah, and all I have to do is just disconnect those two Facebooks or whatever. Now, that's hard to do. When you go into the media, when you contact companies, they are going to investigate you. Every single company you contact will say, all right, who is this guy? And it doesn't always come down to necessarily, hey, I'm getting X amount of hits or doing this, that, and the other thing. If you're very professional in your email and you simply explain what you want to do, even when they do their background investigation on you, if they find some kind of a footprint in social media and they see that you're active talking about their stuff, they will take a chance on you 9 times out of 10. Microsoft in Toronto, I was just beginning with Twig. I was so nervous sending off this email. I'm like, okay, I want to cover Halo 3. Crap. So I wrote the email, and they looked at all my social media, because at that point, MySpace was huge. In the dog times. And they're like, oh, okay, he knows what he's talking about, and then I got a follow-up phone call. That's another thing, too. Emails are so easy to ignore. But a phone call will annoy somebody. They have to pick up the phone. And the thing is, there's always the gatekeeper. The information guy who says, well, who do you want to speak to? I need to speak to somebody in public relations. Well, what's it regarding? And then you can just, if you can just get through, can I get through to somebody who's in charge of this department, or say, can I get through to a decision maker? If you can get past the secretary, 9 times out of 10 you're in. Just keep them talking. But never be rude and demand stuff. If you ask and just explain what your situation is, they'll be really nice to you. Plus, even watching stuff like social media, you can get into events like in Toronto, there's something always called the X whatever. X10, X09, whatever. It's basically a yearly Microsoft showcase. And every year they let people in from the public. Now it's open to us, the media, in the daytime, so you can speak to developers, get free crap, whatever. You can get into those as press or the public. But if you want to get into the press, sometimes all you have to do is ask. Even if you're just beginning out, just ask. And more times than not, they're thinking, hey, they're a new blogger, it generates buzz. Because this way, it's a media outlet they don't know, but it's another outlet for them to use. So people will be interested in what you have to say regardless. I don't know, what else do you think I'm not hitting? I don't know. I mean,
good question. That makes it easy.
Yeah, that does. Thank you.
Okay, so Mike, you and I have talked a bit, so you know most of what I'm about. But I would say I'm for a little further along than most, already having a media badge.
Yeah, that's very positive.
So basically, what I've been doing is like a website where I've been doing videos about gaming, and I actually recently signed on most of my friends, so we're looking into expanding in other areas. We have all the avenues of distribution. We have a website, we have a YouTube, we have blip.tv, we have a Facebook page, we have a Twitter, we have an iTunes feed. I'm just wondering if you have any other suggestions on how we can increase views, because I've been at this since like 2008, and I still have like less than 200 subscribers.
It's really hard, because I find with that, it's more or less lightning in a bottle. If you cover something that's very, very, very topical, you'll get a lot of hits for it, especially if it's on YouTube. It's like if you had gotten Duke Nukem 3D the week it came out and said Duke Nukem sucks, you would have Duke Nukem sucks forever. You would have gotten a crap ton of hits, and people would have been like, oh my god. It's basically you just have to know how to read the news or know your industry enough, and also if you are a member of forums or blogs, just link bomb people.
Oh yeah, I am. You will not find a more shameless, self-promoting whore in this industry than me.
Yeah, and just do that, and it'll basically happen. Also, another thing you could do, and this is how me and Mike got hooked up, radio stations or television stations. And be like, hey, my name's so-and-so, I've covered these events, send them links, and say, hey, I'd like to do something. I'm not looking for money. That will get you in the door more often than you want to believe.
It definitely got him in the door.
That's a good idea to keep in mind.
Sorry, you go. I was going to say, Mike may have called and applied for my job, He didn't get my job, but he got a weekly spot on, like a weekly segment on the morning show, where he and I just chatted for 5 minutes or so.
Yeah.
So you never got paid for that, but still.
Yeah, and that's one of the cool things about media. Like I said, you're not going to get paid in this off the hop, but building your reputation is so important. If people like you and respect you, you'll start getting free product. You will start getting flown out to events. I've been to MagFest, PAX, E3, every time something comes up and I can never go. It's always something. And just stuff like that. I mean, last year I got taken out to the Spike TV Video Game Awards.
Oh, yeah?
You can do stuff like that. Yeah, I got to talk to Neil Patrick Harris and friggin' Thor.
Nice.
Too bad the movie sucked.
I like it.
But yeah, with my website, basically when I started it, I had delusions of grandeur of our site becoming one day as great as, say, Screw Attack or Rooster Teeth. Those are like the two biggest examples in my mind.
It's not a delusion that you just have to work at.
Yeah, I've been working hard at it by up until mid last year, it was me and my roommate by ourselves, and I just recently signed on all of my other friends, and now we've got all these other ideas.
Well, yeah, just keep plugging away at them. I mean,
and if you can have something unique too, that'll always put you above.
Yeah.
If there's some unique thing about you that people really like, they'll tell their friends about you. Just something unique. That's something I think you might.
Yeah, that's the thing. We started out with simple stuff like our most proficient series is Co-op Chaos. Simple idea. It's just us playing co-op games and being jackasses. It's funny, but it's dime a dozen. So that's why I have all my other friends who are coming up with all these nice ideas now.
Yeah, I mean, Scotty kind of hit it right off there. Yeah, if you have something really unique, I mean, I honestly believe, I think our popularity jumped when Dave started doing rants. I mean, he had Scooby-Doo eating dog crap at one point. Because you just edit these really bizarre things together.
Like Doc Brown and stuff like that?
Yeah, or like
Schwarzenegger versus illegal pop strings.
Yeah, if you have something like a gimmick like that, it'll really take off because people will start talking. People would ask me, hey Mike, you said we just the rant? Okay, here you go. Or Dave would randomly record music. Like, every Batman movie's got a game or something like that.
All the same.
Honestly, we should put those on YouTube or like freaking iTunes.
There used to be a video. You gotta get a full Batman costume.
Yeah, just
I'll be your Fat Robin. But yeah, it's crazy because stuff like that. Because like we talk about this in the Channel Awesome Q&A. If you have something unique like a character or something, just try it.
Yeah,
if it works, it works.
That's always like. Even if you take Rooster Teeth an example, no one was doing machinima when they started back in the day, and just because they're so unique at that point, it expanded because of that. And then like the whole achievement hunter kind of thing, which they made branched off. There wasn't really a huge thing for that. Now that's so huge.
Yeah.
You're just trying to find something unique for the times, like right now. If you can figure something cool that you guys can do, and you're pretty sure other people really can't do, or if they can, not as good as you guys, something interesting like that, like a character.
We actually just signed on my cousin, as nepotism as that sounds, who actually came up with this really good character. The Nostalgia Critic broke character laughing twice because of him.
Oh, the weird crazy Russian guy?
Yes, that's my cousin.
No, like something like that could get you some more people.
That's,
something weird like
that's definitely getting us places.
Yeah.
Yeah, like KGB Gaming or something. Like
yeah.
That. In Russia, game plays you.
That's worth looking into.
See?
Okay, we're gonna for KGB Gaming right now. That's Vidania, comrade.
That means goodbye.
Now. Your face.
I don't remember where, but this one scene I saw opens the door. Das Vidania. That means goodbye. Slams door.
Oh, it's in Back to the Future.
No, it was in
I just saw Back to the
Transformers 3.
Right, that's it.
Yeah.
I just saw that movie last week.
I was just playing Back to the Future. The game.
Yeah.
And there's a speakeasy in it, and it was a speakeasy in the Transformers.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, that makes me think of something actually really cool. If you got, alright, how many people here want to review games specifically? Not a 20. Okay,
Okay, cool.
Okay, you. If you review games and you buy them on your own dime, and if you send the coverage to publishers, 9 times out of 10, they'll send you stuff back.
As long as you're serious, because you're the one who forked out the money to basically give their product free promotion. You paid for the promotion.
I mean, and I'm not saying them send them coverage like, man, this game made my anus bleed. Don't send them that. Don't, whatever, damn you. I saw you in the blue first, and then you, Laura.
Balls.
Oh, you. I don't know if reviewing video game music counts as.
is because you can open up a new relationship with friends. And I'm actually really glad you mentioned this too. I actually said this today in the channel Awesome Q&A. I don't want to review video game bands anymore because the problem is I don't want to get too close because I don't want to have my dream shattered. Because I interviewed MC Front a lot. I love Front a lot. Everybody knows this. I interviewed him. He kind of sucked. And it hurt. But if you review the bands and you review them really, really positive, I'm not saying kiss their ass, but they'll start giving you stuff. They're like, hey, here's a new track, check it out, or just, you know, just work the rapport.
Because it's such a cult following that they're not like U2 or something where like everyone knows who they are. It's like kind of a cult following. So if they have even small-time people in the media going after them, then they'll be like really responsive.
Yeah.
As opposed to like a regular band, not as much.
I mean, I think that's a really cool idea, and that's something I've never heard of before. Someone just doing that.
I initially have plans to do a show where I review movies and music, and one of my focus is going to be on video game music. Like I'm not like I like video games, but I'm nowhere near as because I'm not an expert at it like Spoody is. So I decided to just make my focus on the video games.
And that's cool because there aren't a lot. From what I know, there's not a lot of people doing that right now.
I can't think of it.
Maybe Todd in the Shadows, you could maybe argue.
Only
But
people. Yeah, but he's reviewing popular music.
Yeah.
He's not reviewing game music.
yeah.
Yeah, actually, I don't know anyone does. I know that people mostly have spotlights on music. Like Games Radar has like game music of the day, but no one ever reviews it.
Yeah,
they don't
and-
review it. They're
No,
like, here's
they're
the song. It's awesome.
And odds are, because you're doing video game music, you'll get exclusive interviews. They'll give you tracks.
Like Tommy Tallarico and guys who do the
And Amanaguchi will S your D, man, because those guys are so nice. Like, and the thing is, because they're not signed by a major label, they own copyright. That is something you guys all need to remember. Copyright will get you sued so fast. But if you're a news outlet, you don't have to worry about it because you're covered by journalistic integrity. Like on television shows, you know how they show like say Super Mario in the background and they're talking about video games? Normally they'd have to pay Nintendo for that. But because it's news, you don't have to. But for your thing, you could probably play their music copyright free as long as you ask them. And if they say it's cool, you're already halfway there. So that will really, really, really help. If you want some video game contact, talk to me after the panel and I'll help you out.
Who else misses Dwayne and Brando?
Yeah.
All right, you first, and then. I'm sorry.
It's topical.
You're too close.
My topical too. I just wanted to say, as somebody who's attended MegFest, that would be a really good scene for you because it's all about video games and music. So that would be a great experience for you.
Yeah, and all the bands will totally talk to you, especially Power Glove. They're with.
They're awesome.
They're so bad.
Oh my God. Thank you, Lucas.
I'm sorry, obvious joke.
How are those playing SummerSlam this year?
Have you ever seen them live?
Oh no, I will.
They will melt your face.
They're awesome.
We went to MagFest and Kelly can attest to this. There were like 2,000 nerds singing the Pokemon theme song metal.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
So cool. Or the Power Rangers, just the shredding.
Yeah, they did
Oh
like
my
Mortal
God.
Kombat.
It was so cool. But Laura.
You heard of them?
No, I just wanted to like throw out there. I used to when I had a lot more free time. I used to run a blog reviewing manga, and all I did was I contacted all the manga publishers I could think of. I kid you not, right away I was getting responses, and within 2 weeks I had free stuff at my door.
Yeah,
like, it was instant.
nice.
They were like, because for them these books cost them 50 cents and another $1 to mail them.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
The
I
free
don't
promotion
care.
they get from people reviewing them online, they were happy. Like every publisher was just, here you go, and just would send it to you for free. All you have to do is ask.
Yeah, I find books are the books, CDs, then movies, then games, then hardware. It's probably the list of from easiest to hardest is the stuff to get. I mean, I'm trying to think what's the most expensive thing I've ever been sent.
Those sweet controllers are pretty good.
Yeah, I got those. I got four.
That Halo statue is
Yeah, I got a Halo statue.
It's like this big, and it's like, you know how they have numbers on the bottom? It's number 0001.
Yeah, that thing
That
is
statue.
probably worth like a couple $1,000.
Wow.
And I did it because I wanted it as a talking point. Not even a review, just a talking point. And that's the other thing too. If you guys are doing long-form news shows, like say like we did for Twig, and you contacted DC, hey, can you send me whatever? They'll send you digital copies of the comic books. You want to talk about artwork from say Kotobukiya, Sideshow, Gentle Giant, they'll send it to you. If they have press samples, they'll send them to you. Even games, they'll send you like a press package. Like the weirdest thing I ever got was a press package that was an emergency ration kit. It had this god-awful, like, have you guys seen the video on Screw Attack where they're eating the protein bar and it's the powdery thing? Okay, well, either way, it was this disgusting ration pack. I could survive the apocalypse with it. It tasted like death.
So much for surviving.
But yeah, so they send me that, and you get all this cool crap, and it's for a game that they didn't even care about. So yeah, if you contact the publishers, like Laura said, they may just send you a standard press mail. Here's a jacket, here's a t-shirt, here's a toy.
Or a pizza.
Or a pizza. Let me tell this story first. Okay. Halo Legends was just coming out on DVD. Awesome little Batman-esque side stories in the Halo universe. I got a call from my PR rep. First thing they sent me was a Viewmaster. You know those things you hook up to your eyes? They sent me that. Okay, cool, whatever. Hey Mike, can you be home tomorrow at 11? Sure, why? Don't ask any more questions. Okay. But I'm just feeling a hitman showing up at my door to pop me in the kneecap or in the face. And I come to the door, and there's this man comes to the door, he hands me a pizza. I automatically think, okay, it's the wrong address, I'm not paying for this. But if it was on a credit card, I don't care, sucker. So we take these two pizza boxes, and we open it up, and there's a Halo figure inside, and there's the DVD. And below that is a fresh pizza. And it just says, enjoy. Please watch the movie right now and enjoy. Call us later.
Nice.
And they did. I've never received a media kit like that. No, there was a Nintendo cake. I got a Nintendo cake shaped like a DSi.
Oh, what?
Like, what?
Pictures.
It was weird, man. I get so many really weird press kits.
Did you get pictures of that?
The glowing controllers was the coolest one you showed me. From Afterglow.
Or the Hellboy towel. That was random.
That was so strange. Yeah, I got a hand
What the
towel.
hell does Hellboy have to do with the towel?
He has the right hand of doom, which must be sanitized.
He just randomly sent us.
Death is never clean.
Sent us, was it the game or the DVD?
I think it was the DVD.
Hellboy 2 DVD, and it came with the towel for some reason.
Yeah, so Scotty was mentioning this one press kit I got. I had this big military briefcase show up at my house. Just heavy as hell. I don't know what's in this thing. Crack it open, and it's glowing controllers. And they're all hooked up via USB, and they've actually custom built a battery pack in the bottom of this thing. And it glowed. It was the coolest thing I've ever gotten.
I just like opening it and closing it.
Yeah, we're like
controllers glow.
What system were they? Controllers?
Everything.
Oh.
Yeah, it was really neat. Like
Nice.
I got a green Xbox, red PS3, and a blue Wii. But yeah,
Nice.
and it's crazy though, just some of the stuff that'll show. I mean, especially if you start building your reputation enough in the media, if they like you, they'll start sending you hardware. Like,
Get the power gig guitars in the closet one day. We were just going through your stuff, and all this crazy stuff you got. I got one of those, almost like the Rock Band promo, like the actual electric guitars that you can play with your Xbox. I need one of these. And I was like, yeah, they sent me this stuff. Like Sirius satellite radio.
Still sitting unopened.
Yeah, boombox. Look, it didn't work.
Yeah, it might work now. I don't know.
Just the crazy stuff he gets, man.
Yeah, like the FedEx guy gave me a Christmas card. That's how well I know him. Yeah, that's awesome. Then the one time they came to the door and I dropped my pants at him. Not so much.
Was that after the Christmas card?
That was after the Christmas card.
Okay. Did you get anything after that?
He doesn't come to the downstairs door anymore. Yeah, I just got out of bed and I put on my pants. I didn't have my belt on, and he got a show. Not my finest moments. My wife will tease me about it endlessly. But yeah, it's crazy though. I mean, just asking about people and just writing. As long as you keep writing and producing content and being really nice, you'll find yourself established. Like there was somebody today who said, "Hey, how can I get associated with Screw Attack?" And
I just want to comment, and sort of towards what you were saying about trying to find your sort of angle to go with, or gimmick, kind of with what you're going with. I also do film reviews for my channel, and when it comes to requests, don't turn them down lightly.
Yeah.
Because I get people who will do fan trailers, like Avengers and stuff like that, and sometimes they'll have enough time to do a whole movie, even if it's 45 minutes long. And so I'll get people that say can you check it out, or can you review it? And I'm like, maybe, but it's not really the same thing. I don't want to have to pick it apart and stuff like that. But when you really look at it and say, okay, what's this person trying to get at? How can I do it in a way that's constructive criticism, or at the same time, giving, like in the case of like journalism, if somebody's saying, I've got this idea that I want to like see if you want to like tell a story about, go for it. Like at least research it before you turn it down. And 9 times out of 10, I would not be turning it down. Like an opportunity is an opportunity.
Yeah, I mean it's all about networking too. And one of the things I forgot to mention is if you guys do cover, you guys want to establish yourselves, it's going to cost you money. And what I mean by that is cameras. Like I'm looking at your digital camera right now. Very good. You would be allowed into a press event. You don't have a little point and shoot. Exactly. Expect that. If you do audio, be prepared with professional microphones, professional mixers, professional software. Our Twig Studio, we got a $6,000 grant, and we bought a mixer, which is actually pretty much just like that one.
It's literally the same. I have one in my room as well. It's actually pretty good. I think. How much was like
150 maybe?
Yeah, I think mine was like 200.
Yeah. So if you're willing to put up money for that, I will say this. I prefer analog audio. And analog audio means anything XLR, which means you get a little bit more headroom technically, which means you know how sometimes you look on a waveform and you see it go red? It's going to clip. That's digital audio, it just cuts right out. If it's analog audio, you can actually go into the red, it'll distort like anything, but the audio is still somewhat usable. So yeah, if you're going to do video stuff, I really want to say go to school for it. I think it's a very, very valuable thing. There's a few people that have made it work by not going to school. Like, half the Channel Awesome guys haven't gone to school for it. And their stuff looks pretty good. I mean, Doug's stuff from the beginning looks like shit. And now it looks really good. The lighting's consistent, the audio's good 9 times out of 10. And look at Angry Joe. I think he's technically the best show on Channel Awesome right now because the lighting's so good. And lighting is something weird that'll actually make you look really good. I mean, Dave, you're more of a film guy for this.
Yeah, it's one of those things like you don't really have to go to school for. But one thing I find kind of helps is like what I learned filmmaking from basically was DVD bonus features. Kind of explain a lot of things about stuff like that. Not really the intricacies of lighting, but yeah.
It just makes it look cleaner, and that's another thing. If you're covering events with video,
important. Yeah, like a lot of people don't realize how important. Like they just sort of put a webcam there and that's it. But to get the really nice looking lighting and getting everything in focus, like
yeah.
And you don't have to spend a fortune on lighting. You can go to Home Depot, spend $50 and get film quality lighting.
I heard some people use like desk lamps and
yeah, that's what I use.
Yeah, it just depends how. Yeah, however.
But you have to diffuse it. You can't just put
just straight up halogen bulb at your face.
Yeah, because because you have so many areas on your face that will attract light.
Yeah, they use a lamp and they sometimes put a piece of paper on top of the software.
Yeah.
We do have things called gels and diffusion paper. Like, don't put a piece of ordinary paper because it will burn.
I've noticed that effect.
Yeah, it's very bad. It's very awesome if you want fire.
Of course, if you're doing video, also have mics.
Yes, mics, professional mics.
Like, I'm pretty sure anyone who's really tried it knows that usually the microphone that's on your camera right now sounds like complete crap. So if you just pick up a microphone, most cameras, especially the SLRs now, because they're becoming so popular because they're cheap for indie directors and stuff to use, always have like a mic port on or something like that, so you can try to get like a, maybe even just if you're doing a review kind of thing, you can just have a lavalier mic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or even if you have like a separate, just like a small digital recorder or something.
Yeah. Like a Marantz or an HT Zoom.
Yeah, and if you can record onto the recorder and then just make sure you have like you clap or something before it starts, so you can then sync up that audio when you're editing.
Yeah.
Like you can import the audio from the recorder and then import the video from the camcorder and then just kind of sync them up in whatever editing software you're using.
That just made me think of something too. When you guys get professional gear, dress professional if you're going to events. It really does help. I mean, the amount of retards I saw at E3 walking around in Mickey Mouse t-shirts depresses me. Yet the guys at IGN and Kotaku, they've got suits on. They've got polos. You should be doing the same thing. If you want to be taken seriously as a journalist, don't look like a 12-year-old kid that just walked off the subway.
I guess at least a polo.
Yeah, at least a polo
and
or a
jeans.
clean t-shirt that doesn't say
Yippee-ki-yay,
motherfucker. Yeah. Don't wear this. Don't touch the pants. Yeah, slam bitches, get money.
There you go. There's a conversation starter.
Go back to school.
There's a conversation started.
In fact, first day of PR school, I decided, I don't know you people, whatever. I wore a t-shirt that said, and I quote, "I ain't here to impress none of you motherfuckers." My PR teacher goes, "Mr. Dodd, you're going to wear an example of what not to wear." Nice. Please put on a sweater. It was very hot, I was very uncomfortable. But yeah, like, if you look professional and you got professional looking gear, even we haven't done this yet, because I can't find a supplier that I like. A mic flash will so help you. If you have, like, even if it just says your website on it, or your name, or it's just a generic looking flash, that adds legitimacy. And even if you can do stuff in post, like lower thirds, or correct lighting, or correct your audio levels, when you ask these companies, "Hey, here's something I did on the Xbox 360 controller," and your thing was really produced, they'll call you back. Any other questions? Because I'm bringing us. Oh, you and then you. Actually, we're almost out of time.
Just noticed. Oh my god, he has a polygon on his microphone. That means he's professional, guys.
You know, it's weird though, because you'll see even professional journalists will just walk around with these little HT zooms and just go, "Talk to me."
Yeah.
And you look like an idiot. If you take the time to have a professional microphone and go, "Hey, let's have a nice interview," the mic flash at least shows that you're serious. I mean, even for radio events, they always gave you the mic flash.
Yeah, definitely. When we were the talk station, where I used to work at the talk station, when the news reporters would go out, despite the fact that it was radio, they did still have those on the mics.
And if you have website gear or gear that says your website on it, or a t-shirt or whatever, wear it.
Yeah, the more professional you look, the more people will want to talk to you.
Yeah, I really recommend. This is going to sound so 90s. Windbreakers are in. I'm serious. If you can just get a windbreaker that has your name and your website on it, this way you can take it off and you still have your nice polo shirt underneath. You still look nice and professional.
It's like most people say, like, you can sneak into anywhere if you look like you belong.
Yeah.
So, like, if you just dress like you should be there, people will respect you, like, yo, he should be here, this guy, blah, blah, blah. You could be the lowest of low, but if you look like the highest of high, you can probably get your way where you need to get.
Yeah, I mean, even we've kind of snuck into events just looking nice. But, like, if I don't recommend this. I hope, of course, you're rolling tape while I say this.
2 cameras.
2 cameras.
His name is
Mikhail Dodd.
There we go. That's your name.
Look angry. Just like, look, I got a deadline. If you've got a microphone or a camera out, just look, I'm busy. I've got to shoot. I'll let you right in. I don't recommend doing it. In fact, even she bluffed me into an event once. She's like, look, do you not know who he is? It worked though. VIP access for the whole weekend.
Absolutely. Well, how do you think I got this one?
Also, business cards.
Yes.
I literally came into this convention with 100, and they're all gone.
See, that's good. If you can just be like a business card music, it helps.
A good business card too is to have one that sticks out and flash. Like, for example,
mine suck because they're playing.
Geek fight card though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that caused a bunch of people.
I still have the one you gave me.
Yeah. I contact. Yeah, if you can get a really cool business card, even if they're weird, do it. In fact, one guy handed me one this weekend. He made me a puppet of myself. Which is really, it looks so badass. It's really cool. Look at this. It's just a little card. Has all his website info, and people are like, oh, that's so cute.
QR codes. Put QR codes and make them link
See?
to weird things.
Those are on mine.
Oh, that's what you're talking about. We're talking about linking it to weird stuff.
Every time I handed one to someone, they're like, that's right, we use QR codes, we're awesome.
I still don't get that. I'm sorry. I'm an archaic dinosaur. But yeah, there's just so much you can do.
I got a pager, though.
A pager? Yeah. Me and my archaic cell phone. But yeah, that's another thing too. If you can have a cell phone, like a business line and your home line, do that. That helps. Yeah, it really does help. Like I've got, you can even use it over Skype.
Or just pretend that your cell phone is your business line.
That's what I do.
Exactly.
I'm like, good afternoon, this week in Geek. Please hold. I'll press hold.
Have some hold music ready.
Mr. Dodd's office. I'm not proud of doing it, but I've done it.
No, you know what you do?
To be your hello, the office of Mr. Dodd. Please.
Kelly's done it for me. Like Michael Dodd's phone.
Oh yes, you know how busy I am. What is it?
It works though. It's
you know you tell them to hold, then you have some hold music on your MP3 or something. Just hold it there for a second.
I'll tell you this though. This is the biggest tip, and it's open to interpretation. You're holding it on hold. Stuttering Craig Skismith gave me this advice years ago, and it's always stuck with me to this very day. Be bigger than what you are. The way you act and hold yourself, the confidence. If you walk in there thinking, damn, I am MSNBC. Give me whatever the hell I want. Exactly. If you have that attitude, like Scotty said, if you look like you belong,
you'll get what you want.
Come right this way. We have a closed door demo. By the way, here's your bag of swag.
It's funny because you say Craig, and that's the way Screw Tag was. It's like, yo, we're Screw Tag, like, blah, blah, blah. Larger than life personality he's having this.
Yeah,
we're big already. We have 15 people watching us. We're big. You act big. It's like that.
Yeah.
Dressing and acting, it's all what you need to do to try to get yourself where you need to go.
Yeah, because we walked into a conference with Twig. We've been on the air about 2 weeks. And we just walked into Ryerson University. Like, hey, it's This Week in Geek, guys. And we're like, you damn right it is. Let's party. And, you know.
Babies?
Yeah, woo! It was awesome. That's how we got attention for ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the thing is, though, with the media, you have to love what you do. You can't report on something you absolutely hate. Like Delta High School for this guy.
Well, no, somebody told me this when I first started working in the radio, and it's true. If you don't like something and you have to talk about it, the people who do like it will see through you immediately, and you will have no credibility whatsoever.
Yeah, that's why I don't cover certain types of video games. I don't know what the hell this is. What the hell is that?
She's showing you the time.
Oh, the time. We're out of time. I'm sorry, guys.
Do you not like the time?
You know what? I'm just going to keep going until they say, get the out of here.
Yeah, who's got more questions?
Yeah, more questions, dude. You?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the thing I was wondering, because being like for radio and just like podcasts and stuff like that, I'm sure you know this. Well, I got like a basic kind of microphone, and I've been looking into getting like the filter things that like you talk through.
Oh,
so
pop
like,
filter.
because I'll do a review. And welcome to the review of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Plosives and symbols.
Yeah. So like, what's your recommendation on stuff like that? Like,
you can use a sock.
I have a
someone actually mentioned that in another panel.
Sock. Like I use both because I'm really bad for plosives. So I find the more you can filter it, and it's not like you'd think that would like ruin the sound or something, but it really doesn't.
It depends on the voice too. Because I don't use a windsock, it makes my voice sound weird.
Yeah, it depends on your voice. You have to do test records to see what's going to work. And same thing with, like, on the mixing board, you have to do test records to figure out where you want to put the, what do you call that? Levels of, like, low and high and stuff, and, like, setting your gain and stuff like that is really important to getting it to sound right.
Yeah, and don't boost your gain if you can help it. Because boosting gain distorts your voice so much. If you can boost it through the after levels.
When you get the board, usually it comes with like a manual, and I would recommend actually reading it. Like usually I'm like a culprit for just throwing up the manual, especially again just playing with it. But when you get like a professional mixing board, it's worth it to actually read through the entire manual, and it'll explain to you how to set the gain, how to set your levels, and just making it sound nice.
So guys, I just got the hook from one of the people at the back there. We gotta go. But if you guys seriously have any more questions, feedback at thisweekingeek.net. All of us monitor it.
We will Mike Blanchard. He'll tell you.
Except for Mike Blanchard. You know what? Just say, hey Blanchard, I hear you like cars. Please someone do that. I really want him to say, I hear cars suck.
He'll go off on like a 3-hour
okay, here's what I want everyone to do here. If you do this, I'll find a way to get you something. Write the feedback at thisweekingeek.net and just make fun of Blanchard about, I don't know, Lord of the Rings.
Or only liking movies by seeing the trailer.
Yeah. Tell them that you saw the trailer for Cars 2 and you decided to pass on it.
That's not even a lie.
It's true. Just tell them that.
Trailer from the new
They'll be like, why is everyone hate Cars 2?
But yeah, anything we can do to help any of you, it's our word. We will do it to help you. Because we're all in this together. We're all nerds.
Let's want children.
Yeah. Geek pride.
Yeah, don't
What's the